Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we love to break down big topics. And today we're doing something a little different. We're going to zero in on one single year. A year that you could argue changed education for good. A year when the digital tide didn't just turn, it became an unstoppable wave.
So, if I asked you, when did the internet really change learning forever? What would you say? You could probably point to a bunch of different moments, and you wouldn't be wrong. But you can make a really strong case for one specific year, a 12-month stretch that was the true point of no return.
And that year, it's 2005. So let's dive in. We're going to look at what happened through the eyes of an online education pioneer, Morten Flate Paulsen, to see exactly why this year was such a massive tipping point for the entire world of online learning.
Okay, our story kicks off at a place called NKI. It was one of Europe's biggest distance education providers. Now, in 2005, after years of online learning just kind of growing steadily, the data suddenly started telling a totally new and honestly a pretty dramatic story.
For the very first time, in just the first half of 2005, over half, we're talking 50.4% of the school's entire turnover came directly from online courses, not from the old school correspondence courses that have been their bread and butter for decades. You know, they say money talks. Well, here, it was practically screaming that a new era had just dawned. And it wasn't just about the money either. Look at the people, the students themselves. By the end of that year, it was official. The number of active online students had actually surpassed those studying by snail mail. The student body had voted with their feet, or, their keyboards, and the future was clearly online.
But this tipping point, it wasn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. No way. It was about changing the entire feeling of distance learning itself, and it all started by taking on a pretty common stereotype head-on.
Think about that for a second. Today, we're all connected, all the time. But back then, the big problem was, how do you take this experience that could be really isolating, getting your course materials in the mail, and turn it into something connected, social, and supportive, especially before Facebook was a thing everyone used? The solution was this incredibly forward-thinking project they called CLIP. And really, what it was a pre-Facebook social network built just for learners. The whole point was to help them find study buddies and build their own little support systems. Pretty cool, right? And what's really wild is the amount of control it gave students over their own privacy. I mean, long before this became a standard feature everywhere, this system from 2005 let you choose exactly who could see your profile, from totally public to completely locked down. And the results? They were fascinating. A huge 2/3 of students straight up said they wanted a learning partner. This proved it wasn't just some gimmick. It was filling a real human need for connection in their education. The desire for community was just undeniable. So this whole push for community wasn't just happening inside these student platforms. The entire world of educators and experts was starting to connect in new, much faster ways. And technology was about to hit the accelerator.
At a conference in Vancouver back in 2005, Paulsen talks about these Cracker Barrel sessions. It was kind of like academic speed dating, a really fast-paced, face-to-face way to meet people and swap ideas. It just perfectly captures the vibe of the time, this real hunger for connection and new information. And it was right there, at that very conference, that he first heard about a brand new video publishing service. It had just launched in February of that year, and it was about to bring video sharing to absolutely everyone. Its name, of course, was YouTube.
And basically in the same breath, he learned about another new service, one based right there in Vancouver. It was called Flickr, and it was quickly becoming the place to share high-quality photos online. You can see it, right? The building blocks of the visual internet we know today were all just falling into place.
So here's the crucial point. You've got the world of educational theory and the world of explosive consumer tech just smashing into each other. It created this perfect storm for a radical change in how we all learn and teach.
Just think about what happened in that one year. You've got the birth of YouTube, right? Mass video sharing. Then you have camera phones going mainstream so regular people can create content. And then you have powerful, connected entertainment consoles like the Xbox 360 landing in living rooms. Suddenly, the potential for learning anywhere, anytime, just exploded.
So when you look back at this whirlwind of a year, you start to see a core philosophy emerging, one that didn't just reshape online education back then, it's still incredibly relevant to this day.
This was the big idea, the guiding principle that came out of that pivotal year.
It's all about finding this really delicate balance, right? Giving students the freedom to learn on their own terms, but also putting them inside a community where they can help each other out without being forced into some rigid group project.
I mean, the tools we have now are worlds away from 2005. We've got platforms and tech they could have only dreamed of. And yet, that central question, it's still one of the most important and honestly one of the toughest challenges in all of education. How do you find that perfect balance? That's still the goal.